Hey girls! Today we are going to talk about how to stop being a good girl and start being a leader of your life. This video is for you if you are a divorced woman, obviously, because this is what this channel is for. So if you are new here, welcome. So yes, you are a divorced female. There's two things going on. On one hand, you are feeling angry and defeated, and you just don't want to do anything with men. You're just like, yeah, that whole marriage thing, the relationship, those kind of things, I'm just done with that. But on the other hand, deep inside, you crave that sort of attention. You actually would like to have a man in your life. You feel jealous when you see happy couples. And you look back at your life and you're like, you're arguing with how things went, right? Meaning that you think about like, you gave to your marriage everything you had. You were very giving, self-sacrificing, agreeable. You put everybody's needs before your own. You would smile when you felt like others expected you to be smiling. You kept secrets. You kept promises. You did everything you could to make it work, and it didn't work. So how come? How come, right? And then you're like, look at me now. Look where I am at today. I'm a divorced woman. What have I done wrong? Grab something yummy to drink. Grab a notebook because you might want to take some notes. I'll be giving you some really great questions to ask yourself after you watch this video to self-examine and take this work to a deeper level. And yeah, let's get rolling. So those of you that don't know me, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Ewelina. I'm originally from Poland, that's why my name sounds a little bit different. I am a life coach for divorced women. So that means that I help my clients do three things. First of all, I help them move on from the past. We create a true sense of closure, so your brain finally settles it all down and you have mental energy to focus on your life now. And then I hope you get to know yourself here, because you're a very different person today versus whom you were before you got married, when you were single, right? So we have to get to know you, and especially if you have been a good girl, then you've done so much self-abandoning, you really gotta get to know yourself, because your focus has been on other people so much that it's like you are a stranger to yourself. And that's what I help you with. I help you learn more about yourself and learn to manage your life from that point and start creating a really beautiful future from yourself, but from the point of, I know who I am and I know whom I'm creating this future for. So that's my job, that's what I do. Now, today in this video, we're going to talk about a few different things. First of all, I'm gonna cover with you who is that good girl exactly, so that you can recognize, okay, is this me or not? What is the price of being a good girl? Like, why is this a problem? What do we need to do with her now when we are on this side of things, divorced, and we don't really want to be functioning too much from that angle? And then whom do we replace her with, right? We replace her with a leader. Who is that leader? I'm gonna explain this to you in the last part of this video. So let's get going. We have a lot to cover. So let's start there. Who is this good girl? And let's see if you are one of those. How can you really tell? You can tell by just what's happening within your emotional body. If you have a lot of resentment, if you feel like other people tend to take advantage of your kindness, if you feel like when you look at your relationships, when overall like you don't feel like you're respected by other people or treated seriously, you know, you can also tell if like how often do you stand up for yourself and how easy it is for you to say no to someone. How much are you willing to upset someone else, be judged for being selfish? So here's the thing. The good girl will agree to all of it because she doesn't want to upset people. She doesn't want to cause any trouble. She has this tendency to put the needs of other people before her own. If you're a mother, of course, as mothers, that's what is required of you, right? But maybe your kids are now teenagers and you're like, well, how about me? right? Learning to give yourself what you want and figuring out what you want requires a completely different dynamic in your mind. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's where developing an inner leader will come very handy. But if you are like, I don't know what I like, I don't know what I want, it means that your energy has been focused so much on the outside world that you are not familiar with yourself. And typically that happens because we think that other people are here to give us safety. And so we want to do everything we can not to upset them, because if we upset them, we might not be safe. That's when we put this mask on. That's when we are always agreeable. We always say yes. We smile, even when deep inside we just want to cry. And you know what your marriage has been like. How many times it's been that you wanted to scream within you and you didn't. How frustrated were you when you were the household manager, running the whole house, full-time job, running your schedules, children's schedules, family schedules, cleaning, laundry, food, all of it. And he was coming back home from work and sitting on a couch. Not offering to unload the dishwasher, not offering to take out the trash, not offering to clean, not offering to cook dinner, not offering any of it. Because it was all on your shoulders and you were just agreeable. Let's not upset him. His needs are more important than mine. Doesn't matter that I'm exhausted, he's exhausted. His exhaustion is more important to me than my own exhaustion, you see? We think that this sort of behavior will guarantee us safety and security. But that's not how it works. Look where we are at. We're divorced. So this sort of behavior is a trap. We have been lied to. Our society teaches us that we are supposed to be super sacrificial. The world tells you that this sort of behavior is a virtue, but it's a trap. It was a trap that led us right into the marriage, where we gave away every last piece of ourselves. So being a good girl didn't really save your marriage, you see? It didn't save my marriage either. It made us convenient to lose because we were not fighting. But now that you're free, my lovely lady, it is time to retire that persona. She does not belong in this life. You don't want her to belong in this life. Because if you will continue on living from this angle, you know what you're gonna do? And I see this all the time. It makes me so sad. The divorce causes many women to drop in their self-esteem, and as they drop in their self-esteem, they drop in their standards. So instead of getting that life that they've dreamt of when they were married, that they didn't have, instead of that, they drop their standards and they attract men that are even worse for them. And we don't want that for you. There is such a thing as a law of balance. And according to the law of balance, everything needs to balance itself out. And so all the sacrifice, all the love that you have given by the law of balance is there to come back to you. In this life yet, it could come back to you. It could come back if you see yourself as a person who is worthy of it and has standards of a person that will receive that, right? That is the only way that that love will come back to you and stay. So we are gonna get rid of the good girl so we can create a leader who actually has a relationship with yourself, within herself, that is very much so about treating herself so seriously that those standards are not bendable for anyone, and that love that I'm talking about, the one that you gave, has an open channel to come back. But before we let the good girl go, we've got to address it. We need to take everything we can from her. We've got to take all the lessons. So let me tell you how to do that. Because it's like she sacrificed so much, right? She has given so much of herself to this last marriage, to your marriage. Okay, so this is what you want to do with your inner girl. And this is where I need you to take a piece of paper so you can write down these questions, and then later on, after you're done watching this video, answer these questions. Please do this for yourself, señorita. This is so important. First question you wanna answer is this. Who are the people I feel the most resentful towards, and why? What did I give them? What didn't they appreciate? What was I expecting of them to do and they didn't do? When did I say yes when I wanted to say no? Specifically, list all the situations that come to your mind. What did I really want but never spoke about? Or if I did speak about it, I got ignored, and then I ended up ignoring my own wants and needs. How long? How long has that been going for? Whose approval did I really want and why? Did I get it? How do I know if I got it or not? Did this person, these people show this to you in a specific way? That you felt like you were approved, like you're loved? And then the last question is this. Did I wait for someone to do something for me? Did I wait for someone to save me, to rescue me? Am I still doing that? If so, in what areas of my life? These are really deep questions, and you want to do yourself a favor and ask them all and find the answers. The reason why is that is when you are giving yourself a chance for an improvement. No one else is responsible for your life but you. You're the only one responsible for it. We're adults. I'm not talking to children here, right? So for you to be able to create a better life, you have to take a full responsibility for it. That is the only way that's going to happen for you. And this is where the leader comes in. So let's talk a little bit about this idea of a leader, because I want you to really think about the dynamic that was going on and what typically will happen if we don't have the right angle and we're not looking at it all from the right perspective. It's kind of like the good girl is super sacrificial, right? She self-abandons. So we could put her like right in this spot, right? Self-abandonment would be here, and then extreme selfishness, not thinking about the needs of others, would be here. I want to invite you to be above both of these things. Not necessarily become extremely selfish, because that's not good. Being in service to other people, loving on them, feeds our hearts, it feeds our souls. So that is a very important thing, and you do not want to lose that ever. If you come to this corner, right, and become very, very selfish, we're risking that you will completely stop giving and connecting to other people, and you'll become just this like bitter, selfish person. I don't want you here. You don't want to be here either. I want you above it, seeing the dynamic and making decisions ahead of time for yourself. Okay, so now let me tell you a little bit more about who the leader is and how to develop her. We really need to consider that you are to create a completely different dynamic within yourself, a dynamic where you actually care about yourself, you care about your needs, and you love yourself so much to pay attention to what's going on here within you. Because as a leader, you're managing two worlds. You're managing the other world, right? So things like relationships, money, your time, your energy, your health, all of that gets managed by the leader within you. But also then we have the inner world that gets managed. And when I'm saying inner world, we have to take in consideration that you have your personality within you, right? And you have different aspects to your personality. Some call them archetypes. I really like to think about it like this, because it gives me a lot of power when I take a few steps back and recognize that, for example, if I'm dealing with a heartbreak, who is actually really suffering is not all of me. It's the lover, it's the friend, it's the one that has deeply trusted and connected to this human being and then got disappointed. But the businesswoman that's running her business, she's not disappointed, she doesn't care. The daughter to my parents, when I'm in that role, it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You see what I'm saying? If I had children, and I don't, but if I did, and I was a mother to my children, functioning in the role of a mother to my kids, yeah, the mother doesn't really, it's not that big of a deal that the lover is heartbroken. Of course she feels bad, but it's like there's a sense of a distance then, which does not mean that I'm not going to take care of my lover archetype. It means that I'm definitely gonna take care of her, but I'm also gonna see that I have strength in other areas of my personality that will carry me through to the other side, where I feel deep, okay, I'm fine, I'm healed, I feel like my heart is whole again, like I'm good. So what do? When we go for a difficult breakup, we pay attention, right? As a loving leader of your life, you would ask, what's happening? You would put your hand on your heart and check in, like, what's happening? I know you're hurting. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at why are you hurting? What's in your thoughts? What's in your past? What are the feelings that you're feeling? What are the triggers? What did you believe? How did he disappoint you? What did he do specifically? Why are you hurting so much? What are you doing to prolong this heartbreak? Is there anything that we can do to speed the healing up? Right? See? That's the leader of the inner world. She cares. She takes care of all the parts of the personality. She's in charge. She's above. Okay, so when you're creating the leader, it's like you're creating a different persona, a different identity, and this different persona, she's gonna have different rules for herself in life. Because it's like, we're done with the good girl. Here's a new sheriff in town. And this new sheriff, she's a completely different person. She's in charge of her time. She gets a text message. Does she respond immediately? If she wants to. She responds on her own time. Same thing with phone calls. When she has time. She's not busy. Her schedule is purposeful because she manages it on purpose. When you are the true leader of your life, if someone doesn't match your effort, you let them go. You have standards. You don't have expectations. You let people do whatever they will. What they give you back, the feedback they give you back, it's information, and you decide on your energy and your involvement with a specific person based on the information you're receiving. So you're not trying to control anyone because you understand that it's like, well, this is what I need to be controlling. This is plenty. 60,000 thoughts per day, whole different kinds of feelings, different levels of, awareness, different parts of my personality. This is a full-time job. I don't need to be controlling other people. When someone makes a passive-aggressive joke at you, you don't pretend that you didn't hear it. You confront them about it. You're also not afraid to be selfish, right? Because above here, like I said, selfless, selfish, and you're above, you're okay being in those corners, but you know why. Like if you choose something that other people will be like, oh my gosh, she's being so selfish, you know why you have chosen this and why you are okay with yourself to make that choice. And you also realize that other people are so busy managing their own chaos that your job is to be true to yourself, and that is the only job that you have. But to be true to yourself, you have to know yourself. And the leader that's running her life, that's the most important job she's got, and she realizes that. For her to make decisions in alignment with whom she is. But to know whom she is, she's got to know whom she is, right? We've got to know what we're managing, whom we're creating this amazing life for. And so, as a leader, You do that. Getting to know yourself and being this like witness to your life, being the best friend that you've ever had, that's your job. You know that some people will not like you. Not a problem. You expect it. You don't want everyone to like you. Because if everyone likes you, it means that you're stepping into the good girl persona. Like, oh, I don't want to upset you. You're upset? Not a problem. Be upset. I'm not responsible for your emotional reaction. Have it. It's fine. So you're not only not afraid of other people not liking you, you are like, well, do I like them? That's the better question, right? If someone drains your energy, you create a good distance. You don't reconnect. If they always complain but they don't change anything. If you're feeling mentally exhausted after being with them, you stop communication. You are literally in charge of your frequency. You don't chase. You protect your peace. And you know that you only can trust actions. Words are easy. Actions tell us where we stand with someone. You also realize that you are the only person on this planet that's responsible for your own rescue. No one is available. No one has that responsibility and no one is able to rescue you. No one else. Just you. It's you within you. You have all the answers you need within you. You have access to everything you need within you. You understand that showing up for yourself when you need yourself makes you really strong. That gives you the ability to take bigger risks because you have planned on, okay, if this doesn't work out, what am I gonna do to take care of myself after I fail? You also understand that people are just surviving their own chaos, so you do not expect to be in the center of their world. And you also understand that because other people are so busy with their lives, they might remember how you acted. Sometimes they won't, but the most important thing is that if you stand in your truth, if you stand up for yourself, you will remember that about the specific situation, that you were true to yourself, and that will empower you to make those sort of decisions again and again and again. As a leader of your life, you're also willing to accept the fact that you have a shadow side, that there are areas of your psyche, of your personality that you are definitely very much so ashamed of. And you are willing to love on them, you're willing to accept yourself, you're actually willing to own fully who you are. The beautiful parts of your personality and the not beautiful parts of your personality. You know how I was telling you that as a good girl, you try to win safety with your behavior? One of the things we think is that like when I am a good girl and I self-abandon and I'm non-problematic and I do everything I can just for people to be happy with me and like this master of people pleasing, we think that will give us safety and that we will not ever feel lonely, like we'll be surrounded by people. But the truth is the loneliness only occurs when we don't have presence within ourselves. When you cannot find yourself within you, that's when you get lonely. There's plenty within you, plenty to manage inside there, 60,000 thoughts on average, all different kinds of feelings, all different parts of your personality, right? Plenty to manage. So loneliness is always about presence. It's never about other people. As a leader, you are excellent at managing your outer world, but also managing that inner world. I just painted a picture of it so that you have understanding of where we're going towards, what it is what kind of energy, what kind of stance, what kind of belief system is very beneficial to have when you are a leader of your life. But I want you to realize that what we're talking about, if you have been functioning from the good girl aspect, and now we're going to taking full responsibility for your life and not looking for anyone to rescue you, and actually truly you being in charge of all these different areas of your life, well, we're talking like 180 degrees shift, right? So this process is gonna require patience, love, and understanding. You're gonna have to allow yourself to evolve. It's not like you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to make my decisions. I mean, you might feel that, sense of empowerment to make your own decisions, and that's wonderful. But oftentimes those deeper, heavier patterns will be coming up in other areas. Like it doesn't happen, it's not 180 degrees shift immediately. That's just not how it is. But remember this, your mind is not fixed. You are evolving, and you get to be the hero of your journey that, yes, gets to be selfish sometimes and utterly unstoppable. All right, my lovely, wonderful women, please share this video with your girlfriend that she just went through a really difficult marriage, terrible divorce. She really needs this information to give herself a chance to create something better in this new chapter of her life. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, throw it at me in the comments. I read all the comments, answer to all of them personally, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful the rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.